The police want to talk to you. You were at the pub. It was lunchtime. You were there with friends. They were shouting. Someone fell down. He was holding his stomach.
I want you to tell me everything that you can remember that happened. Don't leave anything out.
So what do you remember? Exactly.
Boxing gloves. Cushion.
These people are taking part in a groundbreaking experiment.
A fluffy toy. Football.
They don't know it yet, but when they break for lunch,
Cricket bat.
they will be exposed to a violent crime
A scarf.
and will become crucial eyewitnesses.
During that scuffle, this person was actually actively using a knife.
Ever since there has been a criminal justice system, eyewitnesses have been highly prized. Because more often than not, a good eyewitness is as good as a guilty verdict.
And as he used the knife and the person was going, I stabbed him, and he ran.
But the awful truth is that honest, impartial eyewitnesses have been responsible for sending a huge number of innocent people to prison.
Did you ever see a knife?
No. Did not see a knife.
An eyewitness's evidence was thought to be infallible, as Oscar Slater found to his cost in 1909. He served 18 years for murder, before it was accepted that the eyewitness who identified him had previously seen him being held as a suspect. In the 1970s, the overturning of several eyewitness-based convictions resulted in a review of such cases by Law Lord Patrick Devlin. The Devlin report concluded that eyewitness evidence alone should not be enough to convict. Despite Devlin, eyewitness evidence continues to cause problems. But according to modern psychology, it's not so much the system that's at fault, it's memory itself.
The key problem with eyewitness testimony is that people don't remember exactly what happened. There's nowhere in your brain, in your mind, a perfect memory of everything that happened in the order that it happened.
We reconstruct it all together in our minds. It's all done non-consciously, and it may be partly memory, it may be partly reconstruction, it could be wholly false, we might have imagined it, we just can't tell.
The problem for the police is that no matter how flawed eyewitness memories may be, those memories are often all they have to go on. But they believe that modern scientific interviewing techniques not only ensure accurate eyewitness recall, but can also unlock crucial information that in the past might have remained hidden.
His number was 7.
Now, in an unprecedented experiment, Greater Manchester Police will be applying those techniques to our witnesses as they attempt to solve our crime.
No, I'm not intimidated. I'm very interested to see whether our methods actually work, because I think these are the methods we use. It's an interesting project. We've got a lot to learn, and I think now, from the feedback from the witnesses, I'm hoping that we got it right, because I'm confident in the methods we use.
The crime we're about to stage, a brutal murder, will be performed by actors and filmed on 10 hidden cameras inside a pub. The volunteers don't know that the crime is staged, and the police will be treating it as a real case.
He had a light coloured, short-sleeved garment.
But unlike a real case, what the police conclude
this is what we think has happened, this is what I'm pretty certain has happened.
Can be checked against what actually went on.
But we won't know exactly what happened until we see the tape.
Yeah, I need an ambulance.
If you're in any doubt that your memory is unreliable, take a look at this.
Describe what your friend is wearing in as much detail as possible.
Okay.
She's wearing purple boots.
Beaded necklace thing.
Do you think she's wearing any jewellery at all?
I don't know. She's wearing white trousers. They're not denim. They're like three-quarter lengths.
These people have average powers of recall just like the rest of us. And when we witness crimes, our memories are just as fallible.
And what colour eyes has your friend got?
Sort of grey, greeny brown.
Bluey eyes.
No, I haven't. Oh my god. Greeny, blue.
Pretty good, really, apart from the necklace and the eyes.
We advertised for people who were interested in taking part in a documentary about memory.
Oh, my first memory, I was very young actually.
Probably when I was about
7 or something.
And having an argument about a packet of Monster Munch.
All right, thank you.
We had hundreds of applicants and eventually chose 10. What we didn't tell them was that they were really being recruited to become eyewitnesses. What they don't know yet is that during lunch on their second day with us, they will witness a violent crime and become key players in helping the police to solve it.
Just wait a second.
I don't want to sort of do a test and it just shows that my memory is shot to pieces. That would be pretty embarrassing, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I'm excited and a little bit anxious as well, but I think it should be fun.
From what everyone's saying, they all seem to think they've got quite good memories, so maybe I'm going to sort of fall down.
But no, I'm not worried. It'd be interesting.
Overseeing our experiments will be World Authority on Memory Professor Martin Conway, Dr. Graham Pike, who is an expert in identification, and renowned forensic psychologist Dr. Becky Mill. First, we wanted to know more about our volunteers' memory power and problem-solving skills, and whether or not conventional measures have any bearing on their eventual performance as an eyewitness. Will Haley, for example, whose problem-solving was amongst the best in our group, stand out from the crowd when it comes to helping the police with their inquiries. And will Eddie, whose verbal memory was second to none, prove essential when remembering what was said and by whom. While our volunteers are settling into the studio, the pub where they'll be taken for lunch is being rigged with hidden cameras and microphones, so that the staged crime can be accurately recorded.
9:20.
This also means that what our witnesses say they saw, their evidence that will eventually form the police's version of events, can be checked against what really happened.
Most people, when they think of human memory, have a kind of video analogy in mind. They think memories a bit like a video. And that's partly because we have visual images that come to mind when we remember the past. But there's nothing you can point to directly in the brain that says, these 5 neurons firing here in the neocortex, they represent the dinner I had with my wife last Saturday. When you have a memory, it's like the brain breathing a memory. Lots of different parts of the brain come together, virtual networks come into being, and from those networks emerge the mental representation that's going to be your experience of a memory. Now, in that construction process, there are many, many opportunities for error.
We've devised an experiment to discover if these errors can be deliberately introduced. When we were shortlisting our volunteers, we asked them to look at a painting for 1 minute and memorize it.
Hello, everybody. Come and take a seat wherever you...
But that was 2 months ago. Now, they will be asked to paint the picture themselves, from memory.
It's a very colourful picture, and we'd like you to get the colours in. We'd like you to make it look as much like you remember it. I'm going to give you 5 minutes to do the best you can. Start now.
While the volunteers were memorizing our painting, we asked them what it reminded them of.
You could say it was fan-like in its shape.
You got like the spokes, it could be like a bicycle wheel.
The theory is that we remember what something reminds us of, rather than the thing itself.
Human memory is very much dominated by our understanding of an experience. So if you understand an experience in a certain way, that abstract painting looks a bit like a bicycle wheel to me, then later on, when you try to reproduce it, you'll reproduce it using the label that you've given the picture. Okay, everybody, can you please stop painting and sign your paintings? So let's have a look and see how you did. There we go. Can I remind you, Edward, of what you said?
Sounds like a bicycle wheel. It could be his impression of a wheel going round.
Yeah, a bicycle wheel.
That's what's on the spokes.
Indeed, it is rather more like a bicycle wheel. Chrissy, you said that this picture, when you originally saw it 2 months ago, reminded you of what? Can you remember?
Yes, it was a non-mechanical fan. You know, like an extractor fan. It's nothing like the original, is it?
What's the source of the knowledge in their memory? Is it from reality, or is it from what they imagined and what they thought and what they understood? And in fact, in many cases, people simply cannot make that discrimination.
A licorice oil sauce.
You're probably just feeling a bit hungry.
We also tried to contaminate our volunteers' memories in another, less subtle way. The colour pink did not feature in the original painting, but we included it as a choice to see if anyone would use it.
You've been given a set of black, yellow, blue, purple, pink and green paints to work with.
So I only put a little bit in because it was there and I thought, well, maybe there was some pink in it, but I was pretty sure there wasn't any pink in it.
But you still put it in?
Because it was there and I thought...
Hayley was in good company. Every single new painting contained pink.
I think that illustrates the fallibility of human memory. It's easy to include something on the unconscious assumption that it's part of a memory when it isn't.
Memory contamination is not usually a problem when remembering art. But the stakes are substantially higher when someone's freedom might rely on the accuracy of what is remembered, or misremembered, by an eyewitness. Our crime, a fatal stabbing, will be performed by stuntmen.
After about 20 minutes, when our people are halfway through their meals, that's when it will kick off. And action!
We have deliberately chosen not to use a knife in the scene. Our volunteers have already imagined the colour pink. We wanted to know if they might also imagine a murder weapon. And to make it more interesting, we've gone out of our way to give the contamination a helping hand. One of our volunteers is also an actress. Liz Carney's participation in our experiments is just like all the others, except that we've asked her to introduce false information about the crime.
What you're going to be doing is you're going to be one of our 10 eyewitnesses. The others have no idea what this is about. You know a little bit what it's about, but you're going to be our plant.
Right.
We want you to feed false information to the other eyewitnesses to try and contaminate their memory. to see if that then comes out in some of the things they tell us about what they've seen.
Okay.
It's lunchtime on the second day of testing, and the volunteers are about to be taken to the pub for lunch. Though they don't know it, they're minutes away from becoming eyewitnesses to a murder. All they know now is that the Railway is a pub near the studio that serves food. They are not aware that everyone in the pub is in fact an actor or a stuntman, and that their every move is being secretly recorded. This is what happened. When our volunteers arrive at the pub, they may or may not have noticed a young woman sat alone. She is clearly waiting for someone, and is not happy about the fact that the person who she's waiting for is very late. Once our volunteers' food arrives, so does the young woman's boyfriend. All is not well between them.
What? Yeah, where have you been?
Working. Money, now.
Hi mate, what are you having? Yeah.
Next, a couple of builders arrive.
Gotta go and change the lager.
There is a minor confrontation between them and the girl's boyfriend when their tool bag is dropped on his foot.
Hi lads, you alright?
Twat.
Can you sit down? Do you not think it's bad enough?
As the domestic continues, the builders are asked to use the front bar as the pub has a rule about work clothes.
No, you got work boots?
We have, like, yeah. All right,
Sorry, it's just the way it is. If you want to order your food, and then...
Give us fish and chips, please.
We're really busy as well today.
All right. I'll have a steak. Nice and quick, yeah.
They order food and grudgingly go where they're told.
I can't believe she just come up to you, lad. She's come up, she's fronting me. Yeah. Goes in as well.
Hi mate, what did we get you?
Go ahead, mate.
You finished with that?
Just have a little chat with him, it finds out where the scoff is.
After 10 minutes, one of the workmen comes back into the bar to chase up his food order.
Hey, Leanne. Where's he today,
He takes the opportunity to wind up the bloke who kicked his tool bag by deliberately bumping into him.
With that kite.
With what, sorry?
Looks nice, big portions anyway. It's all right.
You're winding him up now.
Yeah. He did that on purpose.
Is it?
Might take some action in a minute. It's a restaurant. Laugh. A restaurant. We have to say we've only got about 20 minutes.
It's on its way. We're definitely...
I'm just a bit edgy, sorry. I'm having a piss. See you later.
How's your watch then? 20... Jimmy, get some mayonnaise. Get some mayonnaise. What's happening, babe? Where's your little poodle gone?
For a walk.
Going for a walk? Has he?
Yeah.
Do you want to take my phone number?
No, I don't, actually, thank you.
No, come on, take it.
No.
If he comes back now,
It's a great horse.
finds him there.
It's a great jacket, you saw the great. It's a good pub run.
Take me number. Why not? What's the problem, son? There he is now. I was just saying to your girl, mate, right? First time I've seen her smile.
Sit down.
First time I've seen her smile was when you was in the toilet.
Just go.
Dean!
Just go.
Dean!
Sit down. Shut up. You fucking shut up.
Get outside then.
Stop it now.
Get outside, you Jimmy. Get outside. Oi, you behind you. Come on, Jimmy, stop that. Give me a fight, slag. You started this.
What are you doing?
Knock him out! You bag fool! Knock him out! Give him in! Give him in! That's the one! Slam him! Slam him! Jimmy! Jimmy, come here, mate! Look what you made me do!
He's been stabbed.
You phoned an ambulance.
Dean! Dean!
Yeah, phone an ambulance.
Please, Dean! Yeah, I need an ambulance. I don't want Dean! 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 Don't leave me! Don't leave me! I don't know what to do! Don't help me! I don't want to stop there! Dean! 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 Dean!
What happened?
Where are you? Someone call an ambulance! Yeah, don't leave, get off me!
Calm down.
Just don't move him! Don't move him!
Right, we're not moving him.
Don't leave him! Thank you!
Who stabbed him? The guy in the yellow? Did you see a screwdriver? I didn't see it. I'm sure I did. It looked like that kind of shape, anyway.
Is that a stomach punctured? Got a stab wound to the stomach.
1864 Alpha. Yeah, we're stage 6 at the railway. Yeah, we've got a male. He's got a puncture wound to his abdomen.
On my count, 1, 2, 3.
Our volunteers are now eyewitnesses. The police are handling this crime like a real case.
John, I'll speak to these lot. Obviously, they can't be drinking anymore and conferring with each other, and then we'll take them one by one. All right.
Can you just stay with them and make sure they don't talk amongst themselves and contaminate their accounts? All right, buddy. Thanks.
Sorry to interrupt you again. Unfortunately, the lad who was attacked here has died at hospital, so it's just to let you know how serious this is, all right? So we're taking it very seriously, and we do appreciate your cooperation, all right? And we are going to get round to speaking to you all individually as soon as we can. So please bear with us, and please try not to talk amongst yourselves about it. It's important we get your versions of events as you remember them, okay? Well, this is Sam, and this is John.
Yeah.
All right, we're just going to get a brief details off you. Come and have a seat. Sorry you have to meet under these circumstances. Eddie.
Yeah. Nice to meet you, Eddie.
My name's Sam, this is John, we're from the CID, and I just want to ask you very quickly about what you saw. This is just to sort the people who are important down from the people who've perhaps not seen or heard anything.
Having taken initial brief statements from everyone at the scene, the police are now anxious to interview the key eyewitnesses as soon as possible.
We're going to speak now with a Tier 5 interview coordinator. That is an interview advisor.
Our volunteers have now been told that the stabbing was an elaborate experiment, but that the experiment will continue as they become part of an exhaustive police investigation.
Okay, who are the most crucial witnesses? And those interviews, I believe there's going to be 2 of them will take place tonight. Don't discuss it. That rule stays throughout, if you would please. Okay.
The CID officers decide that Nick and Eddie, who are closest to the action, will provide most information. The police are treating this exactly as they would a real case, and for them, with the killer or killers still at large, time is of the essence. At the police station, a team has been set up to deal with interviewing the witnesses.
Message number 1232.
DS John Woodhouse arrives from the crime scene and meets with Detective Sergeant Mick Comfrey, who will be coordinating the eyewitness interviewing. Together, John and Mick brief Senior Investigating Officer Detective Superintendent Jane Antrobus.
All right, thanks very much. See you, bye. Bye.
Myself and Sam Pickering got called to the railway pub. There's a number of witnesses there that have seen a fight, and it's resulted in the death of a man who we've now identified as Dean Forster.
Already, the police have put together a top-line idea of what they think happened.
And what we have been told is a single stab wound to the stomach area.
Have we recovered a weapon?
No weapon recovered now. 2 so far.
At the moment, the police don't know which parts of the information they've gathered is right, wrong, or even contaminated.
The only thing that we've got, I mean, the hospital haven't specified a type of weapon, they just said a stab wound, so whether it's a knife or a screwdriver or anything else, we don't know yet.
The girl next to me said that she saw them holding a screwdriver. He has been stabbed.
Did you see a screwdriver?
He's been stabbed. He's bleeding. He has been stabbed.
Sure I did.
It won't be until full interviews have taken place that a clearer picture will emerge.
Right, Mick, what do you think?
If we can get on with the ones we've got available to us now, that'll give you a bigger picture as to where your forensic opportunities lie. And I think once we've got an initial account from them, we'll be in a better position to decide where we're going to go with other things.
Okay, that's the plan then.
I'll just brief up the interview team.
With the Senior Investigating Officer briefed, DS Comfrey now needs to brief his team of interviewers.
Around about 2:15 this afternoon, a call comes into the police and
Just as it would be in a real case, DS Comfrey's brief is deliberately sparse. He's careful not to provide too much information that could give the interviewers preconceived ideas about what happened.
It's come in as a stabbing, but nobody at this stage knows how it's actually happened. We're playing catch-up as normal. There's a lot of witnesses. There's around about 10 people who may be witnesses, but there's 2 definite key and significant witnesses that I want to try and get done this evening if we can. Let's keep a really open mind on what's gone on. Let's be led by the witnesses. You all know what you're doing. You're all experienced interviewers. Is there any questions for me? Thanks very much.
The Greater Manchester Police are among the most advanced practitioners of modern interviewing anywhere in the world. They routinely use video and audio recordings of their interviews and work in pairs to reduce the possibility of missing or misinterpreting crucial evidence.
Carol here, my colleague, is going to listen to everything that's said in this interview.
And the reason that we have a co-interviewer is, if he needs to, can move the cameras about.
She'll make all the notes.
Nick and Eddie are about to be interviewed in state-of-the-art facilities by highly trained officers. But it wasn't always like this.
When I started off the TV programme Life on Mars, one or two of us had a bit of a laugh the first time we saw that. We said we thought it was a police training film from way back then, but there was a huge amount of similarity. It's not inaccurate in any way.
But Manchester's changed since the 1970s. And so has the police interview. Steve Retford has experienced that change firsthand and is now one of the country's most senior police interviewers.
It's just incredible the change that's gone on from when I started as a young officer in 1974 to what we do now. You can't recognise it.
What Steve and his colleagues didn't know then was just how fragile eyewitness accounts could be. Shortly before they became witnesses, our volunteers showed just how easy it is to lose information, simply by trying to describe something from memory. All Simon has to do is watch this simple scene and then describe it to Liz, our actress, who, as in all our studio tests, is not deliberately subverting the experiment.
It's set in a green area, like a park. Okay, but it's obviously a park in a city, because behind you can see sort of like buses. There's 2 sets of benches. There's a bench here with a couple on it. The guy's wearing sort of like a Peter Sellers kind of hat. He's green in colour. Mid to late 50s, maybe 60. Okay. And the woman he's talking to, she's wearing like a white mac. She's got long brown hair, early 40s. And on the table in front of them, they've probably been having some food because there's like some cakes or something. Right. And there's a bench over there with a woman sitting on her own on a mobile phone, chatting on a phone. And she's got a coat on, scarf. Then this guy comes in, okay, he's wearing a duffel coat in his late 20s, right. Early 30s maybe. And he's got quite strange hair, like Coco the Clown. It's kind of like brown hair, but it's got blue in it. Okay. And it's a bit sort of like, crazy. A bit crazy. And he's kicking his football around. And then his mate comes in who's wearing sort of like a football outfit. Right. White football shorts, Nike, because they've got the little Nike thingy on it. And then the football top that he's wearing, I didn't recognise what the team was.
What colour was it?
Good question. I think it was purple. These two are kicking the ball around to each other.
Yep.
Okay? And that's that.
Interesting.
Isn't it?
Thanks.
Okay, good luck.
It's set in a kind of park area, so it's a green area, but it's possibly in a city. 2 benches, there's a couple.
Liz describes the scene to Eddie, and already there are omissions.
And he's wearing hats, it's like a trilby, and she's got dark hair, and it's probably early 40s. There's another bench, chatting on a mobile phone. Food on the table, a duffel coat, like a Paddington.
As the Chinese whisper gets longer, other inconsistencies creep in.
There was a woman sitting on her own. She's not doing anything really. Some geezer comes in with a duffel coat on. So it's obviously not a Premiership team. Might be one of these Scottish teams like Forth or something like that.
Keep you up with the football, so he's keeping the football up, yeah?
Yeah.
A purple football shirt.
Right.
Any questions?
No, I'm trying to remember it. They've had a picnic, duffel coat, mauve football sweater on.
There's a person sitting on this park bench. Not quite sure how old this person is. Along came a boy, or boys possibly, playing footy, and that's what I can remember. That's all.
Along come a couple of kids with a football.
That's it. Okay. Now, Hayley is the final one in the chain, and we're going to see how accurate you think Hayley actually is. There was a man and a woman sitting on a park bench in a park. The woman was in her 40s, and two children came along with a football and started playing some games with the football. That's it. That's what you told me.
Oh dear, that's what I got told.
Okay, so now we're actually going to see what really happened in the event. Hayley, your initial reaction to that?
It's quite different from what I had imagined from what I was told.
There's no detail at all. There's no detail.
That's what I was told.
But the howler is the fact that it was two children playing football.
It's like a synopsis.
Did you pass on the fact that the guy had blue hair?
Yes.
You did?
Yeah.
That's what I mean. It's amazing how you
in,
passed
didn't
it on
it?
probably quite detailed, but then the next person forgets and then...
And what happens, as the detail gets less, when people are trying to recount it to the next person, because there's not much detail, you try and make a story out of it.
A woman walks in and sits on the park bench.
You said, yeah, that the woman came into shot and sat down on the picnic bench, which she was already sitting there. So it's quite funny seeing you actually add detail, yeah, which didn't exist. What's our stereotype of people playing football in a park? Children. Exactly. And we use our stereotypes to try and make sense of that and say, oh, well, and we start picturing, don't we? Children doing keepy-uppies.
I imagine two little children sort of coming along and playing football as opposed to like young lads.
I think this event and this task has really shown us how difficult it is to gather information. Quite a difficult thing to do, isn't it, with all your different versions as time goes on.
The way that the police gathered information in the past was, without their realising it, liable to contamination at all stages of the investigation.
12 photographs. Take your time, have a good look. And if you think you recognise him, give me a number. Right, no rush.
6.
Number?
6.
Definite?
Yes.
That was easy, wasn't it? Eh?
The techniques and the directness of some of the interview methods, when I look back now, it makes me cringe a little bit.
Look, take away the sideburns, take away the moustache, very short-haired. I'm sure that's the one I've seen here on a Sunday. Do you know his name? If I said a name, would you know it?
Yeah, say a name.
You were trying to do the right thing, but you didn't really realise you were doing the wrong thing and possibly affecting the memory of the events and all those things.
They had beliefs about how they wanted to elicit the information, and they had beliefs about where they wanted to end up. And quite logically, they asked a series of questions about what were people wearing, what was the weather like, was there a blue car parked outside there? All of these questions can easily turn into leading questions.
You might rather clumsily go in and say, have you seen a Ford Cortina leaving the scene? Because you were so intent on corroborating what you knew from other areas. So it was poor practice.
Sit down, please.
But I have to remember that 20, 30 years ago, our understanding of human memory wasn't as advanced as it is now. And so, in a sense, there was nothing we could have told the police 2 or 3 decades ago. But there is now. We can give them a much more accurate picture of human memory, and that accurate picture is memory is constructive, fragmentary, and it's often difficult for people to know whether what they're remembering really is a memory and not part of some unconscious inference they've made.
That's 1, 2, 3, up! Left, right, left.
If you'd have told me when I started in the job, in 20 years' time, 30 years' time, I would be working with academics, psychologists, behavioural investigators, I'd have laughed at you.
One of the academics spreading the gospel of forensic psychology is none other than Becky Milne.
When I train the police, we train them in about 3-4 hours on what is human memory. Your learning and your remembering environment differed, memory was not as good. Because we believe the more you know about human memory, because that is the bread and butter of their job, the more likely they're going to understand how best to interview every individual.
What began as academic research has emerged as a practical set of skills that are known in the trade as the cognitive interview.
Because what we said yesterday, if people don't know the answer, they often make it up. The whole point of the cognitive interview is to gather information from cooperative witnesses to increase the quantity of information gained and also to make sure that the quality is absolutely spot on.
If at any point you think, hang on, I need to make a call, or just like...
Back at the police station, our witnesses are in the midst of their cognitive interviews. It's up to the police teams treating this as a real crime to make sense of what they're being told.
She was quite of a young age, around 25-ish. Well, I don't know, she might have been younger than that. Probably was. Or maybe she wasn't. One of the two.
Okay.
So she either was or wasn't.
Right.
I was aware of a slight altercation. And I looked around.
Rule 1 of cognitive interviewing is to let the interviewees do most of the talking.
Began effing and jeffing, like swearing quite vociferously. And,
Not a problem for Detective Sergeant Wendy Haslam, who was interviewing, or rather listening to Eddie.
Visibility jackets. And next thing, it got more violent.
Well, the reason we've asked him to do a free recall and we don't interrupt is so that he's using his own words and his own memory.
This geezer who was doing all the swearing dived on top of him. And it began, I thought he was just pummeling him, like he seemed to be pummeling him like that.
If we were to stop him or ask questions and stop that flow, it becomes a stop-start thing, so there's no fluidity to it, and it becomes quite disjointed.
And somebody said, he's bleeding, he stabbed him. I couldn't believe it, something like that happened, you know, in front of you, just sitting there.
After 10 minutes, Eddie's free recall draws to a natural conclusion. And Wendy begins the next stage in the interview process.
Thanks very much for that. What I want you to do is just concentrate from when you arrived at the bar to sitting down.
At this point of the interview, what Wendy's doing is just asking him to focus totally on what happened when he first went into the pub, not around the event or anything like that, simply on one little part of what he did.
Being a gentleman, I let the girls get served first. And
the memory is lots of different rooms. So we've opened the door that he's already unlocked, if you like, about what happened when he went into the pub to go and sit down to eat. And we're keeping him in that room.
Finished my meal, then I heard his shouting, his raised voices, like.
We'll follow Eddie's sequence of events, if you like, to the next room in his memory, and then we'll ask a lot more probing questions around that, because that's the way that Eddie's remembered it, and that's the sequence of events that's best for him.
When the language started going, I turned around and I thought, what the hell's going on? What's going on here, like? Somebody said, oh, bloody hell, he's been stabbed.
Picture it in your mind now, Eddie, and I want you to just sit for a moment, just quietly, and just get those specific actions in your mind now.
Wendy is doing a cognitive reinstatement, so she's asking him to slow down, close his eyes if he needs to think about exactly where he was and what he could see. So she's really focusing in his mind where we believe the assault took place that caused the victim to die.
Have you got them there?
Yeah,
Can you see them? Right, describe in as much detail everything you saw.
So in effect, she's trying to make him put himself back to the scene so that he can look round again and see everything.
I'd say hit him 3 times, or maybe 4. Yeah.
You described it as pummeling before.
Yeah,
didn't you?
pummeling.
So
yeah.
what sort of speed was he using to do it?
Oh, fairly rapid, it wasn't slow.
Right, are you able to demonstrate it for me?
If you want like that.
Okay then. So with that
Like
sort
that.
of rhythm that you've just done there.
Hopefully, that will give him time to focus on what he did see and recall some events that he may not have already told us. A very significant part of the interview.
What was strange was I don't normally eat vegetables and stuff, but I normally like peas. And I was eating them because I normally like peas. I like them quite salted peas.
In the other interview room, Nick has spent nearly 2 hours on his free recall. But DS Andrea Wilkinson has been able to learn very little about the murder itself.
There was a nice pattern on the floor, sort of a swirly pattern, I think, darkish in colour. And the walls were they might have needed renovating. There were some scratches. The tables were brownish as well. Okay. Where am I up to?
Some people's minds work in a very logical way, and what he's displaying is he's took her instructions quite literally, because he's obviously got some kind of an analytical thought process. When Andrea's actually said to him, tell me in as much detail as possible and don't leave anything out, he's actually gone into great detail, which is good. We want the detail, but what we need is the detail about the actual event itself.
So you just keep hold of that thought.
It's a setback for the police. Nick, who it had been hoped would be a star witness, has failed to deliver.
So let me just go over that bit again, so as we're clear.
And worse still, it seems that Eddie has got things badly wrong.
How do you want to refer to him, so as we can get it clear?
I would say he was the assailant.
Right, so you want to call him the assailant?
Yeah.
He's convinced that the murderer was actually the victim.
The one who's having a go at the girl first, you want to call the assailant, and it's the assailant that was effing and jeffing and swearing.
Definitely.
What's interesting here is Eddie has called our victim the assailant. Now, what Eddie does is you've got to look at his personality. He's 71 years old. He's probably a gentleman, and in the generation when Eddie was young, men didn't treat women badly. He sees anybody who treats women badly in a bad light, so he's given our victim the tag of an assailant, which is basically with his principles and his values.
It's too late to interview anyone else today. The police will have to wait till the morning to see what they can discover from the rest of their eyewitnesses.
Okay, we're here at Sedgley Park interview unit. You've met my colleague DC Story, who's just in the observation room. Obviously you're aware that quite a serious incident has occurred.
It's the start of a second day of interviewing. The police are hoping for a clearer picture from the remaining witnesses.
What I'd like you to do,
picture where you were in your mind. If it helps, close your eyes.
In as much detail as you can, is tell me everything you remember from yesterday, from the point when things started.
Yeah, sure.
Does that make sense?
I remember very little actually, but this is what I do remember.
We were having lunch, I think it was around 2:30.
There was two of them, I spotted them, with high-vis jackets on. And they were sat on one end of the bar, facing the lounge.
While not everyone remembers what happened before the fight,
It is all a bit of a blur, to be honest.
everyone recalls what happened once the shouting started.
All of a sudden, you can hear the sounds of fighting going on.
Trouble is, it's at this crucial point that our eyewitnesses remember things differently.
In the process, a glass was sort of like knocked off the bar and what have you, as they were pushing each other.
There was a few glasses thrown.
And then it sort of led to sort of fist fighting and sort of all over the place, really. And
There was no punching or anything going on. It was just one guy on top of the other one rolling around.
One of them threw the other against the bar.
the guy in the high-vis jacket was just standing over this other guy kicking him, and he wouldn't stop kicking him.
And then I heard somebody shout he'd been stabbed.
I actually said to the person next to me, oh, I don't think he's actually been stabbed, they were just fighting.
Shortly after that, somebody got up and goes, I stabbed him. I stabbed him.
I don't know who had a knife, if anyone. I don't know who stabbed him, if anyone.
I have to say that I don't know who was stabbed.
Okay.
So I don't know if it was the first guy that was stabbed or the guy who was with the fluorescent jacket guy.
By this time, the gentleman who shouted that I stabbed him, he got up.
And while this commotion was going on, he just kind of like left. He didn't run.
and the other two guys just got up and ran out the pub.
So I'm guessing that's not really very helpful.
In the pub, no one was expecting a fight, let alone a stabbing. You can understand why some confusion might creep in. But these confusions are not random. They're known to science. In another of our pre-crime studio tests, recognition expert Graham Pike demonstrated some of them.
Edward, if you'd like to come and sit here, please.
By taking inspiration from the generation game.
Okay, in a moment you're going to see a series of objects go past one at a time on this conveyor belt. I want you to look at them very carefully because once you've seen them all, I'm going to ask you to remember as many as you can, okay?
Alarm clock.
Our contributors are being asked to remember 20 items in 1 minute.
Dumbbells.
The first and most obvious point to make
Kettle.
is that even when people are expecting to remember a string of events,
Lamp.
they can't always do it.
Handbag.
When people are bombarded with information,
Skull.
they can't take it in, so their brains filter.
Trainers.
What tends to happen is that people remember things that they are interested in
Necklace.
and discard the rest.
Hair straighteners.
The brain locks onto relevant information.
Football. Cricket bat. Jumper.
But our game has more revelations.
Can you describe the pattern on the cushion?
When we are unsure about details, we very often, unwittingly, make them up.
I think it was red with gold, either spots or triangles or squares.
Now can you describe the pattern on the cushion?
Worse than that, with the slightest provocation, we are liable to helpfully hazard a guess.
If there was a cushion, then it could well be a stripe on the outside making a border.
In his efforts to give an answer, Nick has combined his own ideas of what a cushion looks like with an incomplete memory of what he saw on the conveyor belt.
Cushion.
To come up with something entirely new.
With some more squared shapes on the inside. Kind of a brightish coloured cushion, if there was a cushion.
Okay, thanks ever so much, Nicholas.
Capture in your mind an image of him there when he's staggering about.
In his interview, Graham does something strikingly similar with his recollection of the crime.
Well, he was wearing this high-vis jacket.
Graham, having seen the high-vis jackets, knows he's looking at builders. He knows that builders often use tool belts.
I have a feeling
He's put the two together.
that had some sort of attachments to it. Almost like there was tools. For some reason, I'm thinking that this jacket had things hanging off it. Tools. I know it sounds a bit weird, but there was more to it than just a plain high-vis jacket.
Now, just to assist me, as I've never been in this pub, would you feel comfortable drawing a diagram, like the layout of the pub? The way you, yeah?
I could do that.
Okay.
Now the interviews are entering a more intense phase. The police need to get as much information as possible from the witnesses. Contextual reinstatement can take several forms. Even drawing a map of the scene can trigger memories that might otherwise have been lost.
That's pretty much it, I think, yeah.
Oh, that's really helpful. Thanks very much for that. So,
I've been an interior designer, that's why.
I was wondering what your background was there. Yeah. Could you tell me from the moment when these two have appeared in the bar area with the fluorescent jackets on, you said, could you tell me everything that happened?
Yeah, what happened was, as I say, these two guys came...
For Simon, the drawing has provided a vital clue.
At the bar at this time. But it was while he was here that this guy... No, I've just remembered something, actually. I've just remembered. This guy here, he'd snatched this money off his girlfriend, and he'd gone to the bar to get a drink. He was just got his drink when these two guys came in. The dark-haired guy put his work bag down on the floor. He'd obviously just got his drinks because he was holding them. I think the reason why this guy was annoyed was because he must have spilt a bit of his beer, because I remember he kind of like lashed out at the bag.
The problem for the police, though, is discovering which memories are accurate and which are not.
During that scuffle, this person was actually actively using a knife. And as he used the knife and the person was going down, he went down with that person, and then shortly after I stabbed him and he ran.
Sometimes, accuracy can be checked just by asking a follow-up question.
Did you ever see a knife?
No. Did not see a knife.
Did you ever see any weapon?
Did not at all, no.
If you witnessed an assault, like the one that was staged in the pub, and a person suddenly realises there's an attack going on, they might think to themselves, I wonder if they've got a knife or a weapon. Your mind makes up the world for you. It adds in inferences that make everything make sense.
Unfortunately for the police, we make sense of the world in highly individual ways.
How close were you to this that was going on?
20 feet from there?
We even have personal interpretations of apparently concrete things like distance and time.
What are you like with distances?
The real issue here is that it's exactly this sort of information that often investigators want to know about. They want to know how far away you were from the scene of the crime.
It's crucial for police to eliminate any element of doubt as to how far away from the action witnesses really were. Because 20 feet to one person might mean 20 yards to someone else. And in court, that kind of discrepancy could destroy the prosecution's case.
Okay, and what are you like with distances?
I think I'm bad. I don't know exactly how 20 feet.
It's because of this that the police encourage witnesses to base their answers on tangible things that can be checked, like the size of the interview room.
The instant was. So I think 20 feet is accurate, yeah.
20 feet. Okay, so in terms of this room, maybe?
Okay, in terms of this room, 10 feet, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, so no, I was
Something
probably
like that.
further away from that then. So 30 feet is more like it, I think.
Okay,
Yeah.
30 feet.
The cognitive interview provides the police with a wealth of information.
Something about his eyes that was striking. And he looks like Dennis Wise.
But it doesn't necessarily guarantee that any of it's accurate.
The cognitive interview is a tool, one of many that we use. Okay, it's an excellent product and it gets a free recall, which is subject to scrutiny. The integrity is massive. So it's my job to listen to the witness interviews to tell me the salient points, to put together a composite to work out what has gone on.
Is there any way I can get a cup of tea? Or...
Certainly, I'll sort that for you.
Oh, yes, please.
A day and a half after the crime, 40 hours of police interviewing has finally finished. The information has been gathered. Some of it is accurate, some of it is not. But it is all the police have to work with.
Oh, I'm brave.
God, yeah, I'm empty of information.
Are you?
Now, the version of events that the police have gathered from our witnesses can be compared to what actually happened.
We've got from all the witnesses a composite picture that in the railway pub around about 2 to 2:30 p.m. Our victim, Dean Forster, is in the pub with his girlfriend.
Where have you been?
You know I've been working.
An argument ensues. The girlfriend asks for something, we think it's keys.
Money.
Thanks for leaving me here.
At the same time, there are two guys in another area of the pub, one with a high-vis jacket on and one without, who's the taller of the two. Victim goes to the bar, gets a drink.
There's your change there, mate. Sir.
There's a loud noise, a glass slamming. There's an argument then between the victim and his girlfriend.
So where have you been?
Working.
The victim tells the girlfriend to shut up. Our victim then goes to the toilet.
I'm going to piss.
Right.
Whilst he's at the toilet, The guy in the HVIS jacket comes across to the girlfriend to get some cutlery or something like that. But he starts chatting her up, and there's some mention of him grabbing his crotch and being inappropriate towards the girlfriend. Our victim comes back from the toilet, ends up engaging in an argument with the guy in the HVIS jacket, which turns into a fist fight at this stage.
Get outside then! Fuck outside, you shit!
Our guy in the HVIS jacket is joined by his friend without the high-vis jacket intervenes,
Outside! Outside!
who grabs the victim and throws him to the floor.
Outside, you shit!
The sounds of breaking glass, and they both end up on the floor.
Give him in!
As they're on the floor, the guy in the HVIS jacket is kicking the victim.
Knock him out! Give him in! Give him in!
And it looks like the no high-vis jacket guy is doing a punching motion 3 or 4 times to the victim whilst he's on the floor.
Slam him! Knock him out!
There's a female voice saying he's been stabbed.
Knock him out! Give him in!
There's blood seen.
I need an ambulance.
One witness says they saw the weapon, then later withdrew that when they were probed on the interview.
Give him in! That's the one! Slam him!
The high-vis and the second male then leave the pub shortly before the paramedics arrive.
Go! Go! I need an ambulance.
Though there are some peripheral details that have subtly changed in the police version of events, the account of the stabbing itself, and crucially who did what, is broadly accurate.
Pretty much what happened, I think. So we're thereabouts. Perhaps the little guy hasn't took as much of an active role in actually physically assaulting the victim as has been portrayed by the witnesses.
Collectively, it'd certainly be enough to put in front of the courts and let the courts decide.
I think it's given us a confidence to say we're doing the right thing and we're getting the right result. There's nothing on that tells me that we've done anything wrong that would result in somebody being arrested or found guilty for something they haven't done. Generally speaking, we can't do our job with eyewitnesses, and I think, on the whole, they've delivered for us.
But even though Mick and his team have managed to recover enough of the truth from our witnesses to take the case to court, without a positive identification, the whole prosecution case could easily fall apart. Next time on Eyewitness, we'll be bringing our volunteers face to face with our protagonists to see how many of them can pick out the murderer. And we'll be exposing them to another violent crime, to see how identification is fraught with a whole new series of problems for the police.